If there's ever a tool that you've used before here in the shop, you've probably used a drill. Now, we have a couple of corded drills here in the shop, and then we also have these little Makita rechargeable drills. The chargers are next to the stand-up toolbox, which I showed you in a previous video. And to get the battery on and off, there's a little white button right here in the front. You push that down, and it slides right off the front like that. Now, on these drills, you'll notice that there isn't a keyed chuck like there would be on the drill press. Our corded drills have a keyed chuck, and you gotta make sure you don't lose that little chuck. That's the little thing you use to tighten them with. But this one is just a hand tighten chuck, so you can tighten these by hand. Now, the thing about these little drills that makes them so handy is you can use them for all different kinds of things. First of all, you can drill a hole in wood with them. That's the simplest thing. Everybody does that, right? All different sized drill bits. There are different kinds of wood drill bits though. There are center point bits, which have that pointy little thing right in the middle. You have regular old drill bits. There are bits for plastic. There are bits for tile. And there are bits for concrete. There is your standard drill bit here. It's a regular old twist bit. Here's a center point bit. You can see the little notch in the middle, keeps you on center. This is a masonry bit. It has not such a sharp set of grooves, and it has this little spade point with these little tabs that stick out. This would be a countersink bit right here. You have things like a hole saw bit. Those are a little bit safer in the drill press than a hand drill, but you can use them in a hand drill. This is called a spade bit. Also makes a wider hole, easier than using a really wide drill bit. Sometimes you can't even find a drill bit that wide to make that big a hole. And as I said, there are special bits for glass and tile. Plastic. Now there's a little collar on this drill back behind the chuck. It has a set of numbers which denote the torque of the drill, and most of the time you're going to want to probably have that set all the way up unless you're doing very fine work. Now there's another little collar behind that that has 3 settings. One of them looks like a drill bit. Obviously that's for drilling. The next one in the middle looks like a little tiny screw. That is for driving in screws, and these can also be used to do that. It's a great use for these. I use them all the time. It's better than using a screwdriver and making your wrist really tired. Then there's a setting for a little hammer, and that is to make this into a concrete drill. You'll know if it's on that setting and you go to use it, because it'll sound like a machine gun. There are special bits for drilling into concrete. Don't ever use a regular bit. The concrete bits have a little tiny tab that sticks off on either side right at the front of the bit. And I almost forgot to mention, the drill has a forward and reverse button, which is right here on either side. If you push on one side, it makes it go in reverse. Push on the other side, it goes forward. And there's a little arrow to tell you. So the arrow on this side of the drill points forward. So I'm going to do a little pre-drill and screw job here, and I'm going to show you as a demonstration. So first off, to get the bit in, what I usually do is I put it in forward and I advance the drill a little bit until it's almost closed deep enough. You want to make sure the bit goes in straight, and then you just hand tighten it and you're ready to go. So I want to put a couple of screws in the end of this board here to attach it to the 2x4. And I could probably just run these right in with the driver bit, but I'm worried that because it's so close to the edge of the wood, it would split. So I'm going to show you how to pre-drill before you put a screw in to make sure that your wood doesn't split. So if I was being pickier, I would measure and plot where my screw holes go, but I don't care that much. I'm just showing this for demonstration. So Now, I could go ahead and just run the screws right in there, but the heads would stick out a little bit. So I'm going to use another nifty little drill bit that we have. It is called a countersink bit. Put this in there, make sure it's snug, straight. And then I'm just going to put this point down in the hole a little bit, and it'll just carve out. Now I can switch my drill to the screw gun mode, like that, right there. And I can put in my screwdriver bit, my driver bit. Now, a fun trick with these that a lot of people don't know is if you're trying to drive a screw, sometimes this can feel a little unsafe and a little wobbly. And it's easy to drive that into your finger if you're not careful. So what some of these driver bits have that makes them very handy is they have a sliding collar. So you can actually put the screw there and slide the collar up around it, and that gives you a little bit more stability. Even though one of these little rechargeable electric drills seems safe and easy to use, you should still exercise caution. Always wear safety glasses, wear gloves if you think you might need them. If you have a piece that you're worried about moving, make sure that you clamp it to the table, and beware of what you're drilling into. Don't just drill into any of these work tables. If you need to, either let the piece hang off the edge of the table or put a board underneath it that is a piece of scrap that you don't care so much about, that you can drill into.